Thank you for joining us for our Talk Tuesday video chat. I'm Frances Burnett, Director of Development at Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute, headquartered in San Diego, California, with labs in Carlsbad, California, and Melbourne Beach, Florida. Today, I'm joined by my colleagues and esteemed marine scientists for a discussion on one of the core values of the Institute, which is education and outreach. Let me introduce our panel to you. Dr. Ann Bowles. Dr. Ann Bowles is Senior Scientist and Director of the Animal Behavior and Census Program at the Institute. Not only an expert in her field, but a champion and mentor to many generations of students. From mentoring university level students to introducing science to children's at SeaWorld camps, BWise camps, and Girl Scout camps. We also have Megan Stolen. Megan is the research scientist and director of the Institute's Melbourne Beach, Florida laboratory. Megan not only oversees our mammal stranding program and ecology research on the Indian River Lagoon, but Megan is a sought-after community speaker, sharing her expertise with university and naturalist classes. Pre-COVID, she also welcomed homeschool children's groups to the laboratory for science curriculum and does grassroots outreach and working with citizen scientists. Mike Shane. Mike is a research scientist and director of the Institute's Fisheries Replenishment Program, which also includes the unique and popular Seabass in the Classroom program. Mike is also regularly invited to speak to fishing groups throughout Southern California regarding the Institute's work in ocean sustainability and partnerships with the fishing community. Let's get started with some questions. Dr. Bowles. Can you please share with our viewers why education and outreach is so important to Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute?
Well, when I talk to people these days, there's a lot of groundswell of enthusiasm for the marine environment and protecting the marine environment. Now, what we want is for people to build a knowledge base based on science that will help us actually preserve and protect wildlife in the marine environment. So that's the first goal. It's just outreach to everyone because science is really the best tool that we have for helping people make the kinds of decisions that are really needed to protect the ocean. The second is very personal to me. I am a bioacoustician, so I study animal sound perception and production. And it's a very technical field, which means that it's important for everyone who tries to do anything in the field to have a lot of STEM literacy. And by reaching out to people, getting them excited about understanding animal communication, I can also help them develop the interest to take STEM courses and to become more STEM literate. For example, I've had students take statistics and physics and other courses that they might not have even tried for the benefit of understanding marine mammal communication. The last thing is just sheer enthusiasm about our work. We love to talk about it, and if people are excited, we want to reach out to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. So, in addition to all the scientific work you've been engaged in at the Institute, can you tell us just a few of the highlights of your work in education and outreach, some of the groups that you worked with, and why that was fulfilling for you?
Sure, absolutely. You hit a couple of them. I'd like to give a special thanks to the folks over at the SeaWorld camps. We've worked with them over a 10-year period to help 7th and 8th grade, mostly young women, realize that it's not just about being a trainer, that there are lots and lots of careers in science, and one of them is that you can begin to work on animals in the oceanarium environment. So that's one thing. The next thing is that we've worked with everyone from Expanding Your Horizons, which is an initiative of the Department of Labor, to the OSHA Lifelong Learning Program here in the San Diego area, to get the word out about what we do to everybody from the K to gray range. So that's really the major goal, is to get the word out about the work that we do.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you. Megan, let me ask you a quick question. Melbourne Beach in Brevard County, Florida is a very tight-knit community Tell us how the people there are embracing the work of the Institute, and share with us the concept of citizen science and how viewers watching can get involved. And also, why do you think it's important to share our work with community members?
So you're right. Where we work, it's very, very tight community. We have a lot of retirees, but we also have a lot of young families. So we have all different ages and types of people, and we have a very strong community along the beach itself, and they care very much about not just the ocean, but the Indian River Lagoon, which is an estuary where we work. And Anne talked about the K through Gray. We really, institute-wise, we really believe that there's no age that is appropriate for learning. All of them are. So we talk to kids as young as 3 and 4 sometimes, even younger if we see them on the beach. And then we have volunteers and people that we talk to all the way, you know, into their 90s. So it really is a philosophy, you know, everybody is part of our family, our science family. And it's really important for us to be out in the community because it is a small community, and we are one of the only science organizations in the area. And so we talk about our work, but we talk about science in general, and try to get people excited about what we do and the ocean environment and the environment in general. So that's very important to us. We, you know, as scientists, sometimes we have a hard time. We kind of get stuck in our own little groove, and it's really important to get in touch with everybody else in the area and really explain to them and get them excited about what we do and why it's important in their own lives. One way to do that is through citizen science. So citizen science is where scientists work in collaboration with people in the community. And so we have anywhere from super young kids to older folks, and they are our eyes and ears on the ground. So in my case, we run a program called IRL Otter Spotters, and the citizen scientists are out looking for otters in the environment and report back to us. And we couldn't do our job without them because I can't be everywhere. So we have people in all different communities along the beach, along the river, and they're our eyes and ears. And so their data is the only way we can get this data. So it's critically important, and it's very, very powerful. And the people that do it are amazing naturalists. So we feel very confident in the data, and it's just blossomed into this big program that we're super excited about.
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah. Mike, I've been there when you've delivered fish for sea bass in the classroom, and I see how the excitement and the apprehension on the students when you deliver the fish. Can you tell us a little bit about the program and why you think students and teachers enjoy the program so much and what they get out of it?
Yes, the Seabass in the Classroom program is a program that's run by Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute in partnership with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife and Get Inspired. And it involves students in local high schools learning about aquaculture and stock enhancement by growing white sea bass in their classrooms. And then eventually they're released into the ocean. This innovative and exciting program is giving students really an unprecedented opportunity, as well as, you know, personal growth and ownership in the health of their oceans and coastal ecosystems. In this program, we're actually creating real life scientists, and we're doing it by not handing them a textbook to read about fish and their role in the ecology, but rather these students, because of the classroom systems, are being immersed in the hands-on scientific inquiry of laboratory activities. There's field research, there's data collection, analysis of various water quality data that's important and necessary for raising white sea bass and eventually being released into the ocean. one of the first activities that we do when we go to the classrooms and work with the students and on the day of delivery of the fish is measure and weigh the fish. So the students, you know, yes, they are aware of fish, but to try to handle a fish that's out of water and flopping around and moving, and the students, and one of the things that we do is we actually put the fish to sleep using anesthetics, so it makes it easier for the students to handle the fish. So the students, A, never realize that you can put fish to sleep, and B, then try to handle them. So obviously they're wearing latex gloves, and so, you know, it's a learned behavior or activity on how to handle the fish. And so we instruct them once the fish are anesthetized, you know, they're much more comfortable in handling the fish. They certainly learn. I mean, some students are still squeamish about picking up a fish, but, you know, to watch these students after, you know, measuring and weighing, some students get to do it a couple of times, you know, they get over that uneasiness, and they learn how to handle the fish, and they're much, you know, they're comfortable about it. The teachers love this program because they use it to satisfy various aspects of their teaching and their programs. And some of these teachers that are really engaged in this program have actually had the abilities to convert, say, old antiquated auto shops into their center of innovation. That is, they've got, you know, the Seabass in the Classroom program going on there, as well as other sort of aquaculture or water related activities in there, from everything from coral reefs to, you know, other freshwater fish in there. So they can use this program to, again, teach and use it as a model for other areas of the program or other areas that they're trying to teach, for example, aquatic ecology or whatever, and using these systems and this tank and this SITC program as a tutorial aid or a guide in helping them reach and achieve the lessons that they want to teach their students.
Wonderful. A little bit more about the program. Can you share how the pandemic has changed the way you operate the education and outreach component of your work?
Yes. I mean, this Seabass in the Classroom program actually receives outside funding that's very important to maintaining and keeping this program active. And so through the pandemic, one of this funding has allowed us to hire and actually we brought on board a education coordinator, and she is managing this program. And while this pandemic is ongoing, we are still reaching out to the schools and the students through creating a series of short videos about the hatchery operations. So the teachers, not only now, but in the future, will be able to use these videos because right now they can't come to the facility to do tours, which is a normal activity as part of this program. So they can now look at these series of videos that we're in the process of putting together to see how fish are cultured and moved throughout our facility. We're also working on completing a website for the teachers to use, as well as creating next generation science standard lesson plans. So these lesson plans are geared for a larger sort of phenomenon when there's a driving question that helps then guide the series of, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 8 different lesson plans that kind of fall under that curriculum there. So that's some of the things that we're able to do. We're also able to communicate. Some schools, or at least one school, is able to still take fish into their classroom and still work with that and show their teachers as they're doing their Zoom lessons, you know, how the program's working even still in their classroom. So, and some students have been able to actually come in and support this teacher with the care and maintenance. So there is still some learning going on that way, but those are some of the main things that we're doing for all the schools with regards to the videos, the lesson plans, the website, that they'll all be able to use here shortly.
Terrific, thank you. Megan, what role do volunteers and students play in the day-to-day operations of the Institute in Florida?
Well, they're pretty critical, actually. So we have students from local universities come and intern with us, and they are, not only are we giving them, you know, some education, but they give us a lot too. They come with new ideas and a lot of enthusiasm, and they just, you know, they just kind of breathe a new ideas and new fresh, faces into our program. We're always sad when they go. And they're some of the brightest people we've met. So we always, tell them, as soon as we retire, you're going to be ready to step in. And we believe very strongly that, as scientists, it's really, really important for us to teach the next generation. So students are important for lots of reasons. Volunteers are really the backbone of what we do in Florida. We have a very small staff of very dedicated women, but a lot of what we do really relies on volunteers. So we have people along the beach and in different places. And when we get a dolphin call, a dolphin in distress, or a dolphin that needs an exam, we call them, and they're usually there before we are. So we spend a lot of time training them. What we do is difficult and in some ways dangerous. So we have to spend a lot of time with them. But we're lucky because the people that do volunteer for us, they've been with us for many, many years, some as long as 10, 15 years. So we would absolutely not be able to do what we do without them. They're mission critical. They really are.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, thank you all for joining us online today for our Education and Outreach panel. I wanted to share with our viewers that Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization, and all the programs that you've heard about today are made possible by the generosity of corporations and individuals like you. To learn more about how to get involved, please visit us online at www.hswri.org. Thank you and have a great day. Stay safe, everybody.
Hey, bye.
Bye, everybody.